that's, yes.
Okay. And the way I get that is it appears, at least from this picture, we could look at other pictures, that the exit on towards the front part of that headrest, towards the front seat,
Yes.
is lower than the headrest on the back part of that headrest. Is that fair?
I think that's fair to say.
Okay. So assuming a bullet goes in a straight direction, if a person, let's say in the back seat, fired that weapon, the gun or the muzzle of the gun has to be at whatever angle can make that, has to be higher than the entrance wound to the headrest to make a downward angle. Is that fair to say?
I can't speak on that. I'm not no expert with all that. I have to take investigative conclusions. And my investigative conclusion was that rear vent window was blown up. And so there's a corresponding hole inside the car. And there was a guy sitting up front that's 6'8", 300 pounds, got hit in the back. That's all I'm trying to prove at that point.
And that gentleman who is 6'8", God forbid, shot back, left shoulder. Is that fair to say?
That's why I'm there. Other than that, I would not even be on the scene.
But
I got shot by the police.
Sorry about that. I'm focused on the left. Do you recognize in 172C, as in Colette Charlie State's Exhibit, do you see what's purported blood on that headrest?
I mean, I don't know if that's blood or what. I mean, I can't tell. It probably is.
Okay.
The brother got shot in the back. He's bleeding.
And you also told us that from your knowledge and belief, shot in the left side shoulder area. Fair to say?
I don't remember unless you can show it to me, but I know that he got shot in the back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, the gentleman in the front seat, to our knowledge, is 6'8". You've said that multiple times. Fair to say?
Yeah, he's a big dude.
And if he's shot in the shoulder area, something pressed, if that is blood, to the headrest left side. Fair to say?
Okay, one more time, Mr. Steele.
Sure. Something pressed up. That's a press wound, right? That's a blood transfer.
Objection on
I don't.
I stand the objection. Do you see any other potential blood in that seat area, headrest area?
From this photograph, no.
Okay. If you come across it in any photograph, just let us know, okay?
Objection, the counsel specifies.
I stand the objection.
Detective, is that the good-looking man in this picture? Is that you?
That's me. I don't know if I'm good looking, but no.
Okay. So now, if Roberson L, do you remember what Officer Roberson L looks like?
Do I remember what he looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he taller than the vehicle, the top of the vehicle that's depicted in 174C?
Absolutely.
And if he's shooting a weapon from outside the car into the car in a downward angle, would that be consistent with him standing near the car, shooting into the car?
Objection, speculation.
I stand the objection.
Now, looking at 174C, which is on your, do you call that a dowel or a rod, the red item that's going through it's perforating the headrest in the passenger seat?
Yeah, we call them dowels, rods.
Okay. And generally, I know there could be ricochets, but generally a bullet, is it fair to say, goes in a straight line when it fired?
I guess that's fair to say.
And here, just, you can explain to the jurors, but you see the yellow dowel and then going into the red dowel, then going to another red dowel. You see that?
I see that.
And there seems to be like an angle from the yellow to the red. No one's saying that the bullet traveled in that direction. That's just
a weak piece of prop, stuff we put together. It just kind of broke at that point and separated from the red, so it's not a straight.
So the trajectory, though, is what I'm focused on, if you don't mind. Goes from, it appears to be going in a downward trajectory, slightly downward. Is that fair to say? Through the headrest, by the way.
Through the headrest.
Left shoulder of the gentleman, 6'8".
Okay.
Pro throw, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you go to 70C, as in Colette Charlie, it's a similar photograph, but it's a little more direct. You see how the angle is going down?
I see it, yes.
All right. And here we have the other side, and we're looking towards the front passenger seat headrest with the dowel coming in the downward directory, going from, the way I'm looking at the picture, from left to right angle. Is that fair to say? Downward and then left to right?
I say downward.
Okay, you don't see left to right.
I mean, I'm not using that kind of terminology. Downward is all I'm gonna jump
Okay.
on for you.
Now, let's talk about,
Scorching or burning from that explosion of that projectile coming out of that gun. You can make reasonable conclusions that the gunshots weren't fired close up in any situation if you don't have that present.
Later.
end of the gun.
I can't answer those kind of ballistics questions for you.
All right. Now, and that's because if you know that coming out of the end of the gun, the muzzle of the gun is burning gunpowder, right?
Yeah, and that's as far as I go because I'm not a gun expert, but I've been
Caught in the